Assalamualaikum to Dr. Haslina. So right now we are going to present our project for Group 7. Okay, so we begin with the introduction. The system that we have chosen for the testing, the software testing, is Roti Bakery Inventory System. So it is a web-based system in order to improve bakery inventory management. So for this system, we have identified 5 critical functionalities that we would like to test on. The first one is user registration, login, password strength, adding ingredients, and adding suppliers. So we found out that we will be test 32 test cases to be executed in order to assess their functionalities, performance, and their user experience. So after we have done the testing, both automated and manual testing, we will provide a comparison between the manual and automation testing results, as well as some recommendation from the failure test cases in order for the system to be improved later on in the future. Next, we look at the objective of the testing. So the main goal or the main objective that we would like to achieve is to verify if the system performs as expected, meets quality standards, and provide a reliable experience. And then inside the main objective, we have broken down into 5 sub-objectives that we would like to achieve. The first one is we wanted to ensure whether the system performs as expected. We want to verify all components function correctly under normal condition. The second one is we want to identify whether there are errors, defects, or unexpected behavior of the system. We would like to know if there are coding or logic errors that cause the inconsistency for the system. And the third one is we want to ensure that the system meet quality standards and specified requirements. We want to confirm if there are alignment with the predefined requirements for the completeness and the quality of the system. The fourth objective is we would like to validate the input fields for proper handling and restriction. We want to check the input fields access correct data types and display appropriate error messages. And lastly is we want to ensure consistent system response to the user input. We want to verify whether the system provides a clear feedback or error handling for the invalid data or missing input.
To continue, there are 5 functions to be tested in this system, which is register, login, add ingredient, add supplier, and also password strength. Register verify that the user can register into the account by inserting valid credentials. Login verify that the user can log in into the inventory system by inserting correct credentials. Add ingredients function to confirm user can add new ingredient to the inventory system by entering details such as ingredient code, quantity, and also date. Add supplier function to validate that user can add new supplier to the system by providing correct details. And lastly is the password strength. Function to test the password field whether it check the strength of password inserted by the user. The result should display either weak, medium, or strong.
Okay, for the test strategy, we use a black box testing to focus on the input and outputs without looking at the code. 5 features were tested. First is registration, second is password strength, third is login, and fourth is add ingredient, and the last one is add supplier. Equivalent partitioning helped us to cover valid and invalid inputs. Manual testing were done by running each test case to check user interaction, and results were recorded as pass or fail. Okay, we compare Cypress, Playwright, and also Selenium IDE for automated testing. While all offer fast execution, Cypress stood out for its strong JavaScript support, advanced real-time debugging, and also ability to handle a dynamic web apps. Unlike a Selenium, which is no code but limited, Cypress provides more control and better feedback, making it the best choice for our system. Okay, right now we go to the methodology, which is the first For the test setup, we use a Windows 10 along with the Node.js, Cypress, and also Chrome. The testing approach included both manual and also automated testing. Manual testing applied equivalence partitioning to check valid and invalid inputs. For automated testing, we use a Cypress to capture screenshot and also, in failure, generate details, load, and also records video runs. The overall test is design followed by black box testing using equivalence partitioning for effective input validation. Okay, we go to the section test case design, which is register and also password. Strange. I won't go through all the test cases, just a key example to show how we structure them using equivalent partitioning to shorten our video. But don't worry, the rest of our test case design we put in the report and you can check after this. Okay, we go to the first one, which is a full name field. Valid input must be alphabet only, like Amanina Slamat. Input with numbers like Amanina Slamat 1, 2, 3 is invalid because it consists numerical. And second one is contact number, which is it must be numeric. So 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is valid, while 1, 2, 3 ABC is invalid. And for the role drop down, valid input is selecting an option like inventory supervisor or clerk. Leaving it empty is considered invalid. The next is the email field accept a proper format such as Amadina 1 .gmail.com. Invalid case include emails without domain like Alex Smith, those with space like Amani, space na.gmail.com, and email that already exists in the system is invalid. Moving to the password, a valid one must have uppercase, lowercase, digit, symbol, and at least 8 character, like pass 1, 2, 3 dot. And invalid example like has ABC with a symbol number but don't have any numeric number, is missing number, and also a symbol is invalid. For enter password, it must match the original. Which is if the original password doesn't match with the re-enter password, is invalid and system will show the error. And finally, we test a full form submission. One case where all the fields are filled correctly and another where everything is left blank to check system validation. Okay, we go to the password strength function, which is a valid password must include uppercase and also lowercase letter, at least one number and one special symbol. However, the password strength function is extended from a register. Okay, for an example of valid password is pass 1, 2, 3 with exclamation point or exclamation mark, as it meets all the criteria. For the invalid input, we tested several common mistakes to ensure proper validation, which is first is no symbol, second is no lowercase, third is no uppercase, and fourth is no number. And invalid symbol like where the symbol is not accepted, a certain symbol is not accepted. Then fifth, where no password is entered at all. Each of the test cases fall under a different invalid partition. This helps us to confirm whether the system can accurately detect weak or incorrect password and provide the right feedback to user. By designing this case carefully, we ensure the password field promotes a strong and secure user password.
Okay, so right now I will do the manual testing part for the rotisserie bakery system. For the manual testing, I will only do 3 modules, which is login, add ingredients, and add supplier. So if go to login first. So if we let the email and password to be empty and we press login, it will say to please fill out this field. So let's say that we choose a valid email but a wrong password. So valid email but wrong password, username or password is incorrect, and if we put email that does not exist also, say username or password is incorrect, so we will put the true email and password, and it will allow us to enter. Welcome inventory supervisor. Okay, so now we have reached the ingredient part. The second module that I want to test is adding ingredients. Since this is an inventory system, so if we want to add ingredient, click this, and so this is the field that we need to enter the data. We need to select the category, whether the ingredient that we want to add, is it a dry, a liquid or solid, etc. And we need to insert the code of the ingredient name, the quantity that we want to add, the measurement, whether it is in the bottles or kilograms or liters, and then supplier detail, which are the supplier that we take the ingredients from, and we need to insert the date in and date out of that particular product. So let's if put some ingredient code, let's say that it contain spaces, and then let's say that tepung pulut, and then quantity that we want to insert, let's say is 100, and measurement is in kg, kilogram. The supplier detail, we take it from this, and we put the date. So let's say the date, we put a non-existent date, such as the 32 of September. So we know that this date is invalid because there is none such as 32, but we want to see what happened. This one also we put 35. So okay, let's say that we left one field to be empty, and we let the category unselected. So it says cannot because we did not select the category. It also cannot because we need to put the quantity. So let's just put. So right now the invalid is here, the code should not contain spaces, and let's say that we, instead of 2 kg like that, we do like this. So it's supposed to be invalid, and then the date also is invalid. And if I just save it, it will say the data successfully saved, which is incorrect lah, because there are some test cases that have failed. Okay, so we reached to the final part for the manual testing. For this part, I will do the add supplier part. Click this button, and it will show us the information that we need to enter. We need to enter the supplier information, such as the code, the supplier code, their name, contact number, ingredient, price, measurement, and the performance. The code should be unique to that particular supplier name, meaning that two supplier name cannot belong to one supplier code. So the supplier code should be unique to that particular supplier name only. So we put this code, and then let's say this is the supplier name, their contact number, the ingredient is sebut cocoa, the price, let's say that we put a negative value, so it's supposed to be invalid, measurement is in bottles. Okay, so let's say that we let the price to be empty first, and it will say to fill out this field, so it's valid. Okay, and then let's say this unique code actually have belonged to some other supplier. So if we try to save, cannot, because it say this code already exists. So we need to make sure that this code is unique to that particular supplier. And then let's say that we put a letter also, so it's supposed to be invalid. So right now the contact number and the price should be invalid. So it say contact number must be numeric, so that will pass. Okay, so now the only thing that invalid is here. The price is -89. So if we save, it will automatically appear here. So meaning that this particular value 89 is invalid and this test cases fail. So that's all for the manual testing part.
Next, I'll be demonstrating the automated testing for login function. On the script, on the coding and script here, we will build a structure of what we wanted to test. Firstly, here what we do is the should login successfully with valid credentials. So we allow the name field, the email password field to be tested with valid credentials. Here is the structure, and here inside the feature is the input that we wanted to insert. After the system inserted the data that we wanted to see, we will write the code for the expected response that we wanted to receive. So if we insert the valid credentials, the system should respond with redirect to the next page. So if it's success, that means the test case is passed. But if it didn't show the respected outcome, the test cases is failed. Same goes to the other condition as well. The next condition that we put here is to show display error on invalid email. So in here, the email we inserted with incorrect email credentials, but we still put the valid password inside it. So when the user click the submit button, we continue then with the expected outcome, which is we wanted the system to respond to username or password is incorrect. If it show the respected outcome, the test cases is passed. But if it doesn't show the outcome that we wanted, it means that the test cases is failed. The third condition is it should display error on invalid password. So here the email is valid, we replace with actual test email, but for the password we replace with invalid password. Example of invalid password is here, wrong password. There are no uppercase, there are no symbols, and also no numbers, which then should return a username or password is incorrect. And the lastly, the last condition is should validate email format before submission. So this block check if the email inserted is using a correct format or not. So we see the examples of input here is the Amani spacebar at gmail.com. So it is supposed to be an invalid email format. For automated testing, we run this on the terminal and it will append one website like here. So here it will automatically insert all the test data that we wanted to see, which is much more faster than manual testing. So here in 18 seconds we already get the result of past test cases and also failed test cases. In this login section, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 test cases and all is passed, which means the system respond correctly to what we wanted. Continue with the next demonstration of automated testing, which is add new ingredients. The steps are same as before, but we probably use a different structure of code and different different data for inputs. Okay, as we can see here, to add a new ingredient, the user have to log in first. So this is the login condition, and it should return pass. When the system finally enter this inventory system, it will find the add new ingredients buttons and then start to do the test cases execution. So the first condition is to allow adding new ingredients. So this means all the data should be valid. So we take here category, ingredient code, name, current quantity, measurement, supplier details, date in, and also expiration date. And then the user will click on save button and the system should respond it to data successfully saved. If the system return true, that means the test cases is passed. But if the test cases didn't return what we expected, but if the system didn't return what we expected, the test cases is fail. So we see here the examples of data inserted, which is the code, name, quantity, measurement, the in and expiry date. So all of this is inserted based on the correct format and correct type of data type. So the process repeat for other condition as well, and also the data inserted will be put in here. So once we run in the terminal, it will show the same as login before. You choose specs and then new ingredients. It will automatically run all the test cases that we have put inside the script. Okay. For 37 seconds, it already finished to test all of our test cases. So we could notice here there are few failed test cases happening. Okay. So from 7 test cases, only 3 of them passed and 4 of them is failed. This, as we can see, it much involved with the date format. Date to validate the date format. And next is the result of automated testing. Overall result of automated testing from 5 different functionalities. We have 32 test cases and 75% of them is pass, while another 35% is fail. In this report, we can see that only 2 over 5 test cases has fully passed test cases, while other 3 has few error or failed test cases because of the system fault itself. Next is the comparison between automated testing and manual testing. The definition of automated testing is that the test cases is executed using automation tools or script, while manual testing, the test cases is executed by the human tester. The medium for automated testing is usually using coding script, while manual testing use manual table or Excel sheets. And then the execution speed for automated testing is usually faster, much more faster, and run at machine speed, while the manual testing is slow. The execution of manual testing is low as it is human dependent. The accuracy for automated testing is much more and highly consistent, which follow the exact scripts, while manual testing might prone to human errors.
Next is recommendation for improvement from the failure test cases. So out of 33 test cases that we have performed, we found out that there are 7 test cases that fail. So for example, the first one is the system allowed to register invalid full name. So we know that the name should not contain numerical value, but when we put Amanina Selamat 123, the system allow it. So our recommendation is to only make sure that the text field allow alphabetical characters such as A to Z only, and the system should alert the user immediately if numbers are being entered. So the second one is the system also allow invalid supplier code. For example, supplier code should not contain spaces, but when we put spaces, the system allow it. So we recommend to put a stricter validation by only allow alphanumeric, unique codes, and then disallow spaces. The third one, the system also allow invalid measurements, such as we have measurements such as kilogram, bottles, centimeters, meters, but when we put kilogram at 1 to 3, which is invalid, but the system allow it. So what we recommend is instead of allowing the user to input the measurement manually by text, we recommend to use only drop down selection for the measurement, so the user can select from there only. After that, the system also allow the user to put invalid date format. such as the date that does not exist. For example, 32 of September, we know that this date does not exist, but when the user input that, the system allow that. So our recommendation is, instead of allow the user to enter the date manually by text, we recommend to use calendar date picker. And then the system also allow to add existing supplier code, such as when we put SUP004, this supplier code already exists in database, but the system allows it. So we recommend to cross-check with the existing database, and it should reject immediately if the code already exists inside the database. Other than that, the system also allows special characters in supplier name. So we recommend to update validation to only allow alphanumerical characters. And lastly, the system allow negative or non-numeric price value, such as negative 89 ringgit. So we recommend to make sure that the input is rejected immediately if the value is below 0 or it is non-numerical characters.